This is the MEGAWHEELS Peak 1500W Moped-Style e-bike, and just looking at it instantly brings that retro motorbike vibe straight to your mind. Right out of the box, the bike stands out with these chunky 20-inch by 4-inch fat tires and a solid muscular frame that feels built to handle whatever you want to throw at it. There's a brown leather saddle that screams old school cool, and this step-through design actually makes it super easy to get on and off, which I didn't realize I'd appreciate as much as I do now, even at about 6 feet tall. The overall shape of the bike gives you that Moped-style silhouette, sitting just a bit lower than a traditional mountain bike, but still giving a sort of upright riding position, which is honestly more comfortable than I expected. It's black with a matte finish that hides dust and little scuffs, a plus if you're actually taking it off-road. The handlebars are a bit wider, giving you good control, and the grips feel solid rather than plasticky. Hydraulic disc brakes are visible front and back, which usually means better stopping power. Definitely good to have in mind for an e-bike that can actually get up to speed. From my experience putting it together, I'd call the assembly process pretty approachable, even for beginners. The bike comes about 90% pre-assembled, so you just have to put on the front wheel, handlebars, pedals, and a couple of other small bits. I had to play a bit with the gear cable since, out of the box, the shifter didn't run through all 7 gears perfectly, but just a quick adjustment, and it was good to go. If you've used basic hand tools before, setting up this e-bike won't be a headache. So, let's talk about how it actually feels to ride. The first thing I noticed hopping on was the weight. At 75 pounds, this isn't a featherweight, but it feels stable, not bulky when you're up and moving. That's probably thanks to the fat tires and the overall design. The saddle is firm, and I'd even say a bit firm for my everyday preference. But after a few rides, it does start to feel just right. You're not sinking in, which should also help it last. The step-through frame really does make mounting easier, especially if you're carrying a bag or if flexibility isn't your thing. The headline spec for me is definitely the Peak 1500W brushless hub motor. That's a lot of power for a bike at this price point, and it really shines the moment you tap that throttle. Acceleration feels strong and immediate, and I had no trouble getting up hills that usually make me sweat. If you unlock it using the instructions on their site, you can get up to about 32 to 33 miles per hour. Right out of the box, it's capped at 20 miles per hour for legal reasons, but unlocking is pretty simple and doesn't require a tech genius. I'm about 215 pounds and 6 foot tall, but that didn't seem to slow the bike down much. Even with the battery at about 70%, I could still hit over 20 miles per hour between speed bumps in my neighborhood, which is fun and way faster than most city bikes. This e-bike feels surprisingly versatile too. I've taken it over little curbs, on rough gravel, and even through some sand at the park to test out those fat tires. The 6-level front suspension fork plus the massive tires soak up bumps in a way traditional bikes just don't. If you hit a pothole or some off-road bumps, the bike gives you a little bounce, but never feels like it's going to throw you off. The suspension fork does dive a pinch if you slam on the brakes, but that's to be expected. Here are some of the key features that stood out to me. The 750 watt-hour battery is removable and lockable. That means I can pull it out and charge it in my apartment, which is just really practical, especially if you park outside or live somewhere with no power in the garage. The range is a pleasant surprise. In pedal assist mode, I've been able to stretch it close to the advertised 70-ish miles if I'm conservative about using the throttle, while on straight throttle I usually get about 40 miles, just as the brand promises. For city cruising, quick errands, or even a long day ride on trails, that's more than enough for most needs. I know for new e-bike riders, real brakes are a must, and the hydraulic disc brakes on this bike feel reassuringly strong. Even at higher speeds, just a couple of fingers pull, and you're slowing down fast, which is what you want for anything that weighs this much and goes this fast. There's also a sturdy headlight and a rear brake light that's bright enough for cars to notice you at night, which definitely boosts confidence. The horn is pretty loud, which I appreciate in city traffic when I need to make sure I'm heard. Pedal assist and mode selection is straightforward on the digital display, no complicated menus. I can just tap the button to change between riding modes: electric, throttle only, no pedaling, pedal assist, motor helps when you pedal, and regular bike mode, if I want to save power or just get some exercise. The 7-speed Shimano shifter is what you might be used to from regular bikes, and it's reliable for slipping into the right gear when climbing a hill or cruising on flats. Now, for the stuff I wasn't as thrilled about. The weight, while it helps with stability and road presence, can make the bike awkward to maneuver in tight spaces or haul up a set of stairs. At 75 pounds, this bike isn't something you want to carry up more than a couple of steps. And while the long frame gives you plenty of space, it does mean you'll need to make sure you have enough storage at home or in your garage. Parking in tight bike racks might also be a squeeze. Charging is another detail. With a 6 to 7 hour charge time for a full battery, you need to plan ahead if you're using this for commuting. Overnight, it's fine, but it's not quick top off fast. The saddle, as I said before, will be pretty firm for some riders. I personally got used to it, but if you're sensitive, you might want to spring for a softened seat cover. The bike claims a waterproof rating for the battery, and I've done a couple of rides in drizzle, but I'd still be cautious if you plan to use it in consistently wet weather. Better safe than sorry with electronics. In my opinion, the MEGAWHEELS Peak 1500W is perfect for anyone looking for a powerful, versatile e-bike that can handle both daily commuting and weekend explorations. The retro aesthetic is unique and gets compliments, which is always fun. The components feel sturdy, and the removable battery is a total win for apartment dwellers like me. If you're looking for a relaxed ride with the option to really fly when you want, I'd recommend this for sure. From my experience, you just get a lot for your money here. Strong performance, tons of practical features, and the kind of package that's usually a lot pricier. Sure, you have to deal with the weight and the size, but for the kind of power and range you're getting, it's a trade-off I'm willing to make. In conclusion, the MEGAWHEELS Peak 1500W Moped-Style e-bike offers that perfect balance of style, performance, and practicality, especially for someone who wants to step up from more basic, underpowered models. If you need a ride that's comfortable, quick, and able to tackle a variety of environments, this is absolutely worth checking out. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the MEGAWHEELS Peak 1500W Moped-Style e-bike.